My name is Mark Oles. I'm with IRIC Machines.
What is the most surprising thing you've learned about IRIC Machines this week or recently?
The most surprising thing this week has been the way that we're doing fine grinding and dry grinding. That's been very interesting to me. Also, the expansion of our process capabilities in Western Australia, that is really exciting. We're growing in a way that fits in exactly with the way that I envisioned this role going. So I'm excited about that. It's a really good opportunity for us in our business to grow in the marketplace.
Excellent. Why is that particular region growing in such a great fashion?
Well, because not a lot of people focus on the fine grinding. There's not a lot of people that do it, and so we have some people in place that are now putting a lot of effort into focusing that and really getting some answers that a lot of customers have, a lot of sites have, where they have these problems and there's not a lot of people in the world that can do the research that we're doing and provide the solutions that we do. So it's really refreshing to see our group is pushing the envelope for what's out there. And when there's not equipment available, they're building stuff for it to develop the database, to develop tests that can be applied to a lot of other areas in our focus.
Has your impression of IRIC's capabilities changed? If so, how?
Overall, my impression of our group's abilities has really come a long way. We are a solutions team, and we are working harder to become more of a solutions provider than we have been in the past. And this week, it was eye-opening. The number of studies that we're doing now, the level of detail that we're going to, it's what the market needs.
And I heard another gentleman relate that in the same way you did, that we need to provide solutions. We're not pushing machinery. It's about providing a solution to a problem or improving someone's efficiency. So
yeah, and that's really the goal that we have here, is to be, anybody can sell a machine, anybody can sell it and walk away. I don't think I'm a great salesman, but I would love to be a great process engineer. And that's really where my head is. That's where I'm going with this role and with this company. And that's my goal, is to be a solutions provider that also has equipment that can help with that solution.
And I also was interested in one of our interviewees mentioning that how important the ongoing support is beyond just getting the sale, and that's where you gain the trust of a customer that can see you, supporting this process and installation.
It's just like when you find a good mechanic, you don't really worry about what he's going to charge you in the end, because you know your car is going to run. And that's what we want to be. We don't want to have to everybody figure out how the car works. We want to be there when they're having a minor problem. It helps them prevent the bigger problem. So that's really our goal, and that's what we're after. But it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time, and it's really detailed work that these guys are doing, and I'm really proud to be part of this organization.
Where are you seeing the largest growth potential, and how do you see it being addressed?
We have a large area of growth that exists, especially in the service area for our group. As we've been discussing, the area that is the most potential growth is in providing service to our customers and to our potential customers. The way that engineering companies have been going in the last 5, 10, 15 years is to basically eliminate their engineering groups from the mining companies. They eliminate it used to be every mine had their own engineering core of people, and now they've centralized that, so you have a core group of engineers who look after several mines. And so what happens is, on site, is you have lost that connection with the machines and the equipment. And IRIC Machines, Tower Mill, this is our product, this is what we do. So it's we're more connected with the machine, and we're really interested what's happening to the machine and some of the areas around that affect the machine. So that's what we look at. And so that's really where the area of growth exists, because the clients, they don't necessarily need to focus on the machine all the time, so they let it just run. And we look at that and say, well, what's happening here and what's happening there? And did you notice this? And did you notice that? And they say, we haven't even looked at this machine in 4 years. Did we need to do anything on this? It just runs. So it's like the old commercial for Honda, right? The car sells itself because you never do anything to it. It's
Right.
kind of like the same thing. So you need to have somebody who has a focus on this kind of application, who really is passionate about it and passionate about improving it. This equipment is for fine grinding, which that's a very difficult subject. A lot of people don't know what that means. But really what it does is it takes the last little bit in the rock and gets it out, the copper or the gold, whatever it is. So it's really important if you look at it from an environmental point of view, that you're using as much of the ore body as possible. So you're not wasting and just digging and throwing away a lot of valuable material. It also is a way of keeping people employed. You can put this machine in place and it will help to improve the grade, which makes the mining operation more profitable, which keeps people going to work. So these are all areas that we see growth potential and keeping these mines profitable. So that's really the biggest area.
Regarding this training and session this week, would you recommend this training to other colleagues in the industry, and would you participate in the future?
Yes and yes. Training, I always feel like it's important to take time and take a step back from our daily routines and do training, be it for safety, be it for products, be it for marketing, be it for other products within our groups. I think it's important that we share information, because there may be something that someone else in our group is looking at that didn't necessarily not share it, but they didn't think to share with another person in the group. And the cross-pollination of ideas and approaches can be refreshing a lot of times. I think it's important that we have these kind of trainings, so yes, I will be very actively promoting these sorts of things going forward.
Excellent. And we talked about the delineation of online and Skyping and things like that versus face-to-face, and how important these face-to-face meetings and conferences are in many regards, and that just the bonding, and also learning how different regions are making your products apply to their areas, and so there's that value of bringing people together physically, I think, and that doesn't get achieved when you're just doing a Skype or a online type of connection.
I agree, yeah. I actually work remote, so I do Skype every Monday for our Monday meetings. But there's a lot of interaction that takes place on the Skype call, which is always good, but in person is, my opinion, it's always, there's no substitute for an in-person training. These are invaluable.
Do you believe you have a strong enough understanding of the product lines to feel comfortable approaching new clients?
Based on the information I got this week of all the products that we have, I have zero knowledge of our products. I need to do more traveling with my colleagues. I need to be doing more with them and more trainings like this. I'm a hands-on type of mechanical engineer, and getting my hands dirty is one of my more favorite things to do. This is my only suit, so I try not to get it dirty. But I do have 2 sets of coveralls, so if that's an indication of what kind of person I am.
Very much so.
So yeah, I like to get out there and get into the equipment and see what's going on, talk to the operators, talk to the maintenance people. A lot of times, the maintenance guys will tell you stuff that the engineers haven't been able to relay to their supervisors, or for whatever reason it just hasn't come up. And that's when you find out, oh, we need to make an improvement to this piece of machinery. So it's important, I think, to get together and actually get out there and really see the equipment. So
Right.
My knowledge is very, I feel like I'm in kindergarten. And I've been doing this for 10 years. So it's always something new to learn.
Yeah, and that's reflected some of the responses of some of the other people that, especially that were focused on milling and mining operations, that weren't so accustomed to the mixing and blending capabilities that APS has, and they stated that there are places that there's overlapping. So to learn those product lines is invaluable, and they wouldn't have had that opportunity had they not come to this.
This
so.
was my first opportunity to learn about APS directly from the product manager, and to go out and see the equipment afterwards. So it's it's been a real good experience that way. Yeah.
Excellent.
But the focus was grinding, and that's what we had to dial it back to grinding, and I think we're back on track now.
Do you have any suggestions for future training sessions? And related to that, is there any other information that you would like us to provide in terms of brochures, process evaluation forms, reference lists? Someone mentioned RFQs, basic presentations.
Going forward, when we redo this again, we're going to make it a 2-day process. This was a bit much for one day, I think, a lot of information to try to cover in a day. And I really feel like the participants were willing to share more than to be talked to. Going forward, I'm going to make sure we have a day or a half a day set aside for participation from the attendees. I want to make it more like a group meeting. There's, like I said earlier, there's not a lot of people that do fine grinding, and there's not a lot of people in the world that really have an interest in this type of machinery. So we really could make it more technical in nature, where we have a case study presentation. We could talk about joint ventures that we've conducted. We just had I was making a list of things I need to do as a result of this meeting. It includes a joint marketing venture with a strategic partner, and it also includes building out relationships with our clients. So those are things that I'm taking away from this that we definitely can improve on. The location was great. Everybody suggested Acapulco, Mexico, and the meeting would be a Friday, Monday kind of meeting. Starts on Monday, ends on Friday, and we just have just the way we have to do it, Bobby. So you can tell Dino that she said it was her idea.
Excellent. Some of the participants mentioned that they would be, or kind of indicated they wouldn't have mind being a part of the team that comes up with the syllabus or the itinerary. Mm-hmm. So like almost interactive in that part. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was interesting. And there was a mention of when we're talking about marketing materials and things like that, case studies that came up a few times, that how valuable those are.
Oh yeah.
And
mm-hmm.
seeing, here's a customer that had this problem. Here we came in with, proposal, and then the solution and the return on that investment.
Yeah, and I think that there's, like I just said, this is a collaborative group. There's a lot of interest from a lot of different, we're all coming from 4 different companies. There's a lot of interest in collaborating together on projects, and we've seen it already, and we going forward, this will be more of a interactive event. I think we set this up just to see what kind of reaction we would get and to see who would come up. And we got big people come up for our group. I mean, these people in this office over here represent the top echelons of their organization. And that's the kind of people that we were working with here. So to say that maybe it was a little bit of, it could have been a little bit better, of course it could have been. So that's...
The impression that we got 99% of the responses was thumbs up, and they thought this was amazing and super vital to continuing education and collaboration, like you mentioned.